What's going on YouTube? I'm Nick the Tutor, and today we have a banger of a video for you, a college essay special. I'm going to go through this bad college essay step by step. I'm going to point out why things are not the way they should be, and you should look at this as an example of how you can do better going forward. So let's get into it. All right, so first thing you notice when looking at this essay, guys, is it's just one big blob, and look, when you paste something into the Common App, it's a little bit tough for the formatting and so on and so forth. But the point is, it doesn't look like this person really put that much thought into the formatting, the flow of this essay. And if you read the first line, it says, "Do what you can with what you have, where you are, Theodore Roosevelt." This quote summarizes my life and future goals. Now, why is this a major mistake? This is a major mistake because that quote is probably not relevant to the rest of the essay. It's very generic. That's just like an extremely common way to start off a college essay, is just throw a famous quote in there from a famous person and then try to relate that to your life. I highly recommend you avoid doing that. That just seems to be something that a lot of students would do. Could someone do that successfully? I'm sure, but I would avoid starting the essay with a quote. I think it's a big mistake. Now, this goes on to say, "My name is Chad Smith, and I've worked really hard all of my life to try to go to the best college possible." Now, what's the mistake there? Well, first of all, they're going to know whose essay it is. So I think mentioning your name, Chad, has made a huge mistake here. Now, what else has Chad done? He's just basically saying he's hardworking. And, that could be a great quality, don't get me wrong. But to just come out and say that in line number 2, I'm not sure that really adds anything. I think the colleges will be able to tell that from the rest of the application. So I think that statement is very generic and very useless. During high school, I was part of many different clubs and had a lot of achievements. Now, Chad, bruh, come on. We don't need you to regurgitate your resume. Big mistake, something you want to avoid at all costs. You do not want to regurgitate your resume on your college application, and especially in your essay. The resume has its own place. You can write a resume and attach it to your college application, so you just don't need to restate your achievements. So restating your achievements or regurgitating your resume, huge mistake on college applications. In school, I was part of the National Honor Society, and I was second singles on my school's tennis team. These achievements showed that I was not only serious about my schoolwork, but I was also able to compete at a rather high level on a sports team. All right, look, if you're a big sports student, you're really into it, you're on a lot of teams, that's awesome, right? But the problem is they already know that, right? It's on your application other places. It's all over the place on your resume, your activities. We don't need another essay about sports. So as soon as I read the sports part of this, I'm put off, right? I'm just like, oh God, another essay about sports. I can't believe it. And trust me, college application readers are thinking the exact same thing. As soon as they see sports story, bruh, you gotta just leave it out, okay? So big mistake right there. Chad is talking about sports. Next line, I also think that something that sets me apart from other students is all the challenges I face in my life. Nearly 3 years ago, my dad passed away in a tragic car accident. Ever since, it's been really hard on me and my mom. Now, look, there are several problems here. Number one, there's a few errors there, as you could see on the page. Let's see, what are the errors? Passed away, that's not how you say that. I also thinks that, so you want to proofread your essay. So forgetting the content for a second, you got to proofread. You got to make sure this stuff is on point. Now, the second thing, look, someone that's lost a parent, that is awful. I never want to hear that from a student or anybody. That's just something that we would all hope does not happen. But at the end of the day, writing about these kind of tragic events makes it really, really difficult, because what ends up becoming is more of an emotional journey than a college essay. The point of a college application essay is to tell the college about you as a person. A parent passing away or someone passing away, that's not you, that's them. And unfortunately, I would hope that was not caused by the student or by any fault of the student. So what does that really tell them about you? Now, yes, someone persevering through that shows a lot of strength. Don't get me wrong, that's amazing. But I think for the purposes of this evaluation, you just don't need to write the college essay about it. Now, also, we're jumping from sports to a personal tragedy. That's a tough transition, right? Doesn't really connect. So let's see where this goes. I have had to learn how to do a lot of things that he had to do. It has also shaped my life because everything that I do now is for him. I use it as motivation to always push myself to my limits. and other things. My dad was a really awesome person and someone who I really looked up to growing up. He would always work really hard and teach me different things about the world. So once again, talking about dad, right? How awesome dad was. And that's great. I'm sure dad was awesome. But at the end of the day, this essay is about you. So I'm still not really learning anything about Chad at all. All I know is that Chad was involved in a few sports and that Chad's dad passed away, unfortunately. And now I'm sad, right? I'm sad thinking about this, and I'm reading his college application and I'm like sad, And one of the things that college application readers don't want to operate on is sympathy, right? They're not going to take you into their school because they feel badly for you. So, if you've fallen ill, if you had a family tragedy, look, those things are terrible, but at the end of the day, not something you want to base your college application essay on. It's a touchy subject, it's difficult, and it's really going to be hard to craft it in a positive way. But let's see, maybe Chad can get it done. I remember when I used to get up early on weekends to make sure that breakfast would be ready for us when we woke up. My dad also really liked to watch sports and was a huge fan of the New York Giants. We used to spend a lot of Sundays traveling to New Jersey to watch the games. He would tell me all about the team and the players when he was growing up. So tell misspelled, other mistakes in there. And now we know that dad really loves the Giants, but we still don't know anything about Chad. So once again, focusing on external factors, talking about your favorite sports team, these are cliche things, right? These don't add anything to build a story for you as a person, right? Chad, we still don't know anything about Chad. What does Chad like to do? What makes Chad tick? What's Chad's passion in life? And we get it. Chad is upset about his father's passing, but at the end of the day, not really relevant for a college application essay. Huge mistake going into the Giants. I highly recommend you avoid talking about sports teams unless you have some really funny or cool story to tell. Also, during the freshman year of high school, I was cut from the JV tennis team, which devastated me. However, I told myself that I would not give up, and during that year, I trained really hard to get better so that I can make the team next year, and that is exactly what I did. This clearly shows that I'm a very hardworking person and will try my hardest to achieve my goals. Once again, Chad, classic mistake, buddy. The sports redemption story is one of the biggest faux pas in college application history. I got cut from the team, I lost the game, I failed, and then I persevered and I won. Please, please, please don't write about this. We're combining all of the classic errors here. The reason that this is bad is so many people face these challenges, right? Not being that great at sports. Look, 0.0001% of people make it to pro sports. Everyone else gets cut, right? So this just tells us nothing about Chad. Now we just know that he's a mediocre tennis player, and at the end of the day, we've learned nothing about him, and actually we realize he's wasting valuable time in his college application essay telling us about stuff we already know. We already know all this from his resume and from the rest of his application. This dedication is something that can also be seen in my schoolwork. Even though I am not a great English student, I decided to take AP English Language and Composition my junior year. I had a really tough time with the class at first. I didn't understand a lot of the material. I kept getting a lot of questions wrong in all of our tests. To make it even worse, I really struggled on how to write good essays and could never get a good score. However, I worked really hard to change this and got a tutor. Thanks goodness. After several months of really working at it, I was able to become a middle-of-the-pack student in my class. So not only is Chad still talking about things that are on the rest of his application, he's also painting a negative picture of himself. You never want to paint a negative picture of yourself without redeeming it. So Chad is basically telling us he's not a great English student. He's not great at it. Even with a tutor, which you don't really want to be talking about that either, he was still only able to have mediocre grades. So if Chad is applying to top-level colleges, he's going to get rejected because of this essay. He's basically telling a top-level college he is not college-ready in the English department. Now, why is this bad? Chad has basically revealed his weaknesses without redeeming them. If you're going to reveal weaknesses, you must redeem them with some positive attributes. Now, yes, the only positive I can take from this essay is that Chad does seem hardworking. He does seem like he likes to persevere, and he seems like he's up for a challenge. But other than that, I've learned nothing about Chad as a person. I don't know anything about his personality. I don't know anything about his interests. I just know a lot of mistakes that he's made, and I know a lot of his failures. I don't really know anything about his successes other than what he stated, which will already be on the rest of his college application. So let's try to wrap this up, guys. What do you need to avoid? You want to avoid talking about tragedies. You want to avoid regurgitating your resume. You want to avoid talking about things that are emotionally stressful to you. You want to avoid giving sports hero stories and scholastic achievement stories. None of these tell you anything positive about Chad. Now, what could Chad do to redeem this? How could Chad redo this essay? Well, I have an amazing college application assistance course and an essay course. You can check out the link below to check those out. They will show you exactly how to do this with myself and college application expert Kelly Chester. But to answer it simply, Chad needed to tell us about Chad. We need to learn about his personality, what makes him tick, and tell us something about his day-to-day actions that gives us an idea as to what kind of college student he will be. What does he like to do? What does he find funny? What does he find interesting? What does he find entertaining? What makes Chad tick? If you can show the college application reader who you are as a person, you have a much higher chance of getting accepted. Comment below, do you think Chad messed up? Do you think Chad wrote a pretty decent essay? Do you think this essay would get you into a top college? What changes would you make to Chad's essay? Comment down below, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel for more information on how to ace essays for your college applications. Peace.